Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back again to ESL One Katowice. We are not actually in Katowice. We are in Cologne at the ESL offices where we're going to be covering the rest of the matches here on the B stream. I think there's also something else going on in Berlin, which is probably that direction, maybe that direction. I don't know where Berlin is, but it's somewhere else that's not here where they're also covering the action. Lacoste, Base Kip, how you two doing?
I'm good. I don't like when people start using stuff like go north, go northwest. Why don't you just tell me where to go, man?
Go north.
Yeah, it's complicated.
Just look at where the moss
Cardinal
is
directions
on the
too
rock.
hard.
Oh yeah, just look at the sun, put a
Wait,
finger like this.
Did we talk about this last time for DSL Hamburg? But
I think we did.
You were complaining about people talking about Dota directions as being like...
Oh yeah,
I do
like
that in classes all the time.
Southeast part of the map is
Retreat to
being
the
controlled
north.
by teams. What? Just tell me, is it bottom or the top part of the map? If you just draw a line, left part, top left corner.
Gotcha.
We gotta keep things simple.
I'm going to start saying northwest and like southeast and...
You should start just doing it by degrees.
What about
Now,
great.
north-south.
Huh? North-south?
North-south, yeah.
North-south? That's just the center.
That's the center,
That's the center of the map. Right now we're looking at the north-south lane.
It's time to get even more complicated, right? You got to go like east. So it's northeast. Like,
oh, right. Yeah,
like
exactly.
East, northeast.
Yeah.
It's even more...
Yeah. It's like at the 36-degree angle or something. I'm with
exactly.
You. I got it. Well, we've had quite a freaking wonderful day so far, and we are now on to the second game of the second series. It is Forward versus Secret. Group A already very contentious. And right now, it is going to be, spoiler alert, still Mineski that I believe are in the lead. They did lose, again, spoiler alert, game 1 against OG, but that means that they're 2-1 in comparison to a lot of these other players as well. Gambit were able to win their first game against FTD, and then, of course, as we saw, Secret winning their first game against Forward. So groups shaking out, I think, maybe a little bit different than a lot of us would have thought. I guess it's still just Secret that are looking to be the ones in control, though.
At least so far. I mean, I guess once we get to the end of this round, it'll be... Mineski versus OG is kind of the interesting one, I guess, for me. Like, to me, it's this group is very clearly Secret number one, even with the game that OG took against them, and then it's probably OG or maybe Mineski in the number 2 spot.
Yeah,
Mineski, it's hard to say sometimes. Like, Fnatic have been looking far and away the best in Southeast Asia at the moment. So.
I mean, Mineski only beat FTD, and that's it. They lost against OG, FTD. So far, seems like a punching bag, 0-3. We'll see what's going to happen. They look good against eHome in the qualifiers, but you never know.
How fast was game 1, FTD versus Gambit? 27 minutes. Okay, that's
a classic Gambit lineup. Visage, Tidehunter, Ursa.
Yeah, they're still spamming that Nyx Assassin.
Yeah, I think that hero is good in a lot of ways. But I liked the response that for anybody that missed the first series, it was Forward versus Gambit, and they first picked Nyx both times in the games. They got first pick both times through, and they took Nyx. And it didn't really do all that much, but I think that's because Forward's answer to it was to pick big, tanky strength heroes, but he still got a lot of vision running around in Vendetta and that type of stuff. So that's the strength of the hero, being like the hero that can spot a lot, but still have some amount of team fight presence.
It puts a lot of pressure on your draft, I think, as well. Like when you first pick the Nyx Assassin, all of a sudden the enemy team doesn't want to pick Pugna, they don't want to pick Invoker, they don't want to pick Nature's Prophet as much. And there are all of these heroes that just absolutely hate playing against the Nyx Assassin. And I think that's really what Gambit are going for with it, is they're just shutting down draft options from the other team.
I could dig that. We do still have a little bit of a wait here. They're 10 out of 10 in the lobby, and they should be starting soon. But to be honest, there isn't really that much to talk about from the last game. It was kind of just a stomp from start to finish.
Yeah, from what I see, Forward Gaming, they're kind of struggling with the drafts. Maybe they still didn't explore the patch enough. We still have these mini patches coming now and then, but they didn't find their team play in the past 2-3 months. Maybe I'm just expecting too much out of them, considering the names and the results that these players have. I would like them to do better, but they need to have a different approach towards the drafting for sure.
Yeah. Well, the two teams that they've played against so far have played a lot of officials on this patch, right? We talk about Secret. They've gone deep in all the tournaments so far, and then Gambit also went really deep in one. Ended up winning.
We play Madness. We play Valentine's.
Yeah. So they've played a ton of games on this patch as well, and Forward have like 11 official games on this patch, and those were all against NA teams in the major qualifiers.
Right.
So I don't know how many scrims they've been playing necessarily, but I think that is a factor here. Where
and the thing is, if you're in NA, who are you screaming against?
Well, they're also on the east coast of the U.S., so they can
play Europe.
They're at New York, right?
Right, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's the biggest deal in the world. I think one of the big things is you're just seeing the difference in terms of the team, because you basically, I mean, and this is something that happened a long time ago, but they're still, I think, trying to figure out how to work with no longer having Snake King, who is a very vocal force in their team. You know, for better or worse, whatever. You know, he was somebody that was talking a lot in it, and now replacing with Universe, who's an amazing player, but doesn't bring that same element to the game, and need to find that other voice in the team to help guide when you know, things are either going wrong or what have you.
Yeah.
So because that's sometimes how it feels, right? Is that if things start to go a little bit, they start to fall apart a little bit, then it can snowball from there for them. But
yeah,
who knows?
It's hard to say. We don't know exactly what their I don't know exactly what their team comms are like.
Right.
Though, I guess what's the one we can point to the fact that they brought Jack in the booth at
I
TI.
mean, that was at TI, yeah.
But that was like that's completely
Jack.
That's a completely unique circumstance, though.
Yeah.
That would seem to suggest that he's you know there with them, presumably for this.
Right.
But like, they do probably need somebody that can kind of rally them when they're a little bit down.
But I mean, Jack is a man of many faces. If he's not helping them with the draft, he's taking care of the raccoons that are digging in
Can
their
I just
trash
say,
cans.
I don't want to turn this panel segment into talking about Jack as much as I love the guy.
So we're just going to swerve. We have a draft.
Sorry, Jack.
I love the guy, but holy crap, I can't handle it if I have to talk to him in my pubs and then also talk about him on the panel.
Fun fact
It's
about
too
Jack
much.
before we stop. He can fall asleep when you're talking to him, whether you believe it or not.
Can I subscribe to Jack Facts?
Maybe.
Jack facts, yeah.
There you go.
All right, we have a draft. Forward Gaming, they have first pick in this one.
So, okay, what got banned last game? We had... I don't remember.
I'll help you out.
Thank you, buddy.
They banned out a
Wikipedia
coddle.
will help you out now.
Yes.
Banned out the coddle. They're not going to ban out or they are going to ban out the NP this time. I think that was a pretty key hero in the laning stage that brought a lot of problems for him.
They got baited, though, right? It was... The Nature's Prophet was really good, but at the same time, it just ended up being a support prophet. And they fell all over themselves. Well, not fell all over themselves, but they picked the Witch Doctor thinking that, like, oh, hey, this is a pretty good hero against Nature's Prophet, except it wasn't a core prophet, so it didn't really matter that they'd counterpicked him. Mm-hmm. So they got to be careful of that, the kind of gotcha. And, ooh, okay, Forward Gamer ban out some Yapsu or Rubik. That's some respect right there.
Man, Puppy's such a genius. Glimmer Cape, first item on Nature's Prophet, no boots. He just had a Blightstone 12 minutes in.
Is that what qualifies as genius?
Yeah, it is, man.
People don't buy boots on Prophet.
I see a lot of geniuses in my tubs. No
All right,
boots.
maybe I should rephrase it. Unorthodox build. All right, so Puppy just DPs and uses Glimmer Cape and just stops the gank.
Yeah,
It's really good.
it was really good.
There's a thin line between genius and
Wasn't it the 5 melee strat at the major?
with Slark.
Yeah.
What else did they have? Like
It was Magnus, probably.
Is that the Slark mid?
Oh, no, they were against a Magnus, and they had 5 melee or something. That's what it was.
The Slark mid winning some ridiculous matchup that like didn't look like he had
Medusa?
Any yeah, the
Yeah,
Slark
yeah.
just crushing Medusa mid. Puppy looking like a mad genius.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
They ban out the brew.
Okay. What's worth a ban here? I want to see some Forward Gaming ET this game, unless it gets banned.
Yeah,
It was open last game, so they're still solid. They used to pick it quite a bit. It was their second most picked hero, other than Grimstroke in their first phase.
Well, it was a Nature's Prophet first pick overall, with Secret having it last time. So now Forward are the ones that are going to get to set the tempo of where this draft is going to go, and they're going to take the Sven.
Okay. It's just not that much of a change up, right? Sven is a hero that everybody kind of knows about. It's been a staple of the meta for a little while now. This is not that much of a curveball. Maybe we'll see them follow it up with a Grimstroke or something, but we'll see. And Secret, I'm curious to see what they still have up their sleeves. See him again. Why not? Just keep picking him.
I like this. If you're going to mitigate physical damage, we're going to go all magical damage.
Yeah, but the thing is, they figured out that I don't think they would pick Lash if there's no Crystal Maiden in the pool, because Lash is really mana-dependent hero.
Yeah, he can just buy stats instead of having to buy any mana regen. Like, I don't think you can get away with this Atos build unless you have the Crystal Maiden with you.
Yeah, that gives
probably.
him tankiness. Also, it was great in the previous game against Faceless Void. He can't time walk out, and it also is a great setup for your stun.
Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of when people were picking offlane Omni a lot, and then the build was like just grabbing a Yules first. If you're going to pick this offlaner that doesn't have a form of initiation, then you kind of have to grab an item to make up for it, and Yules or Atos makes a
You
lot
don't
of
have
sense.
to. That's what Team Forward Gaming did in the previous one.
Yeah.
I mean,
You don't have to unless you want to win games.
Right. I kind of
That's the
feel like
caveat, I suppose.
this combination too, the Crystal Maiden Lesh, we're going to be looking back at like the initial games in this group stage when we get to the finals, and we're going to be like, man, how did they get Crystal Maiden and Leshrac in the second phase? You know what I mean? Like, this is a combination that I could see being banned out in the early stages, like at least one of them, just because of how strong it's looked.
We might get to the point where people just ban Crystal Maiden against Secret if they feel like they're not dealing very well with it.
Yeah, it's been a hero that they've been using on Puppy for ages. Then Yapzor started to play him. It fits his profile. It's such a greedy hero, especially with the Midas build.
Yeah, and they're always going to. I think the other thing is that they're always going to have a mid one hero that probably utilizes the aura as well. It's never going to be just Zai's hero, for example, that's using the Crystal Maiden aura. It's going to be mid one on the Monkey King or mid one on the Pangolier or something, also making full use and fully exploiting every little bit of extra mana that he's getting.
Yeah, I think Forward Gaming is definitely banning out Pango. If they're not, I feel Team Secret is gonna pick it.
And this is the type of series, again, just like in the more macro sense of where these teams sit, I really feel like Forward need to come out with at least somewhat decent showing here, because this is a team that didn't have good results at the last major. I don't think that they're happy with their placement there. If you come into a tournament like this and can't even put up like a reasonable effort against Secret, granted they look amazing, you got to start to wonder like where do you go from here? Because this is a team that doesn't want to just like compete with the tier 2s. They want to be competing with the tier 1s because of how talented each of these individual players are.
But there's really no shame.
There isn't.
In losing against the Team Secret, even being stomped, considering how good they are at the moment. But
I mean, you can't tell that to the players though. Like the players want to win everything, you know?
Yeah.
Well, you got to be realistic.
I guess that's true.
But at the same time, nobody is playing competitive Dota and like aiming for 8th at TI.
Think about this.
Everyone's playing to win
listen.
TI.
If you lower your expectations, you can't get disappointed.
I mean, this is my mantra in life.
That's how I live.
Exactly. And this is why we're talking about these players.
I don't think it's about your expectations, it's about your goals. Right? Everyone is aspiring to the highest level of Dota.
Okay. Bring us back down to earth there. That's the right way.
But, okay, anti-mage ban, they got to protect this Lesh a little bit. We're going to see some targeted bans at Nisha. So the Lifestealer and the Spectre both getting removed, so Secret are going to have to show us something a little bit different here. Though I imagine they're just going to pick Puppy's hero here and fish for more information or just another support. Yeah, it depends on... They're not getting any information from Forward just yet because it could just be their full support duo with the Sven Grimstroke. So I guess they now have to make a little bit more of a decision about who's playing the Crystal Maiden this game. If they want to leave another Yapzor hero open, then they would have to pick like mid ones or Nisha's hero in this position.
It looks like for now, still trying to figure it out, because I guess there is still some flexibility for the Sven as to what position he's going to be. But they're just going to take the Pango, which has been, at least so far, been seen mid one play it.
It's so great with the Crystal Maiden in your team. Just allows you to spam your spells and farm efficiently both jungle and the lane.
So why did CM fall off? Because it was all the rage for a while there.
Got nerfed a lot.
But what was the main thing that was sort of the problem that is apparently no longer the problem? Is it just that it didn't get nerfed as hard as everybody thought it did, and that's why it, or is it that it's just Secret that's playing it? And man,
she got nerfed because we had like 2-1-2 static lanes, and all of her spells got nerfed, especially
like the level 1 damage.
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
When she came out, like she was so overpowered. At one point, everyone was just first picking it. It was insane.
Yeah.
So the numbers had to be lowered, and some other heroes received buffs. That's how Dota works.
I think the other thing is that a bunch of other supports have gotten nerfed, and so Crystal Maiden has crept up. That like a nerf to a different support is an indirect buff to a support that's competing for a spot in the lineup. So with Lich and Grimstroke both getting nerfed fairly heavily in this last patch, that makes Crystal Maiden, who got direct buffs, relatively stronger. And so that's probably why we're also starting to see it a little bit more.
and this is why you don't first two your supports here, as Secret have the answer to the Juggernaut with the Bane taken. So didn't have a good way to go through any disables through spin, but they have it now.
Yeah. I think Secret do respect the power of support counter picks probably a little bit more. And I think that's maybe a feature of Tier 1 teams more than Tier 2 teams. Like, I think there are teams that would have just thrown out a support pick for their third overall pick for Secret just to get some more information, and then they would have held the core picks a little bit more carefully. But like you're saying, by leaving this support pick open, they've now got a really big counter pick opportunity from the support role.
Yeah, I feel like you need to have some kind of a BKB piercing spell when you're playing against the Juggernaut, either a Beastmaster, a Tusk, a Bane, because Juggernaut likes the split push a lot, to be on the different side of the team, TP, grab a kill, continue farming, and Bane just fits the profile, even though I'm not a big fan of a Bane with Crystal Maiden in the team. Like, these two are kind of single target oriented, even though Crystal Maiden has some AoE. Also, they have no escape whatsoever, really squishy. But when you draft like this, have a Pango, have an offlane core Lesh, I think it can work out.
Ooh.
Also, you're picking Darkseer into Crystal Maiden and Bane. You can just keep them in place with either Nightmare or Frostbite.
Well, the one kind of cool thing that you have here is in the laning stage, we've seen this in the qualifiers a lot. Ion Shell onto both the Sven and the Darkseer, and then you Stormbolt the wave, and then the wave is dead before it gets to the Tier 1 tower, which is kind of cool. Which makes the laning stage better, because then afterwards Darkseer just has a completely free game farming alone. But it still does feel a little bit rough to me, because there isn't really that great combination with the Darkseer. You've got like Stormbolt, and that's not amazing, or Stormhammer, but that's not really amazing.
Yeah, and we discussed before the series started how Team Secret is drafting. They're gonna give Pango to mid one, and they want to have Nisha on a matchup that he can shine on, always have a better matchup for him, secure his early game, and give him the ability to scale into mid and late game.
Yeah. I'm wondering what they pick for him here. Is like Lone Druid comes to mind for me a little bit. I feel like this is a decent LD game. Can tolerate the lane against the Darkseer, gives them some building push that they kind of need. It's decent against the Jug, but I don't know if that's necessarily Secret style. Oh yeah, the Morphling would have been good. That's certainly a good hero to actually sustain against the Darkseer and get all the last hits into the tower and stuff like that.
They could grab Troll Warlord as well if they feel like it. It's relatively good in the laning stage against Darkseer, against Juggernaut. He can't die, which is great.
Can Secret just... can they Ursa here? Is that possible? Or is that just not their style?
They could. They have 1, 2, 3, 4 melees on side of Forward Gaming.
Yeah.
I think that would be fine.
Just depends on what their approach is going to be. If they want a hero that can just sustain in the lane versus the Darkseer and kind of do its own thing, or if they're planning on just shutting down and killing the Darkseer a whole bunch. Then,
All right,
okay.
there's no lockdown for this hero. It's a free Weaver game.
Yeah.
And did get that buff in the last one. The second hit of Geminate does a little bit of extra damage now.
Yep.
Just kind of fancy.
Weird flex, but okay.
Yeah, there you go. You know, it
buff,
happens.
but okay.
Yeah.
I like it. I kind of liked it because it's like, you want to build survivability or do you want to build damage on this hero? Now maybe you can get away with building survivability because you have a bit more damage. Maybe. Possibly.
So this lineup of Team Secret is extremely squishy. If you look at those heroes, none of them are going to have more than 1,000 HP at the 10-minute mark. So if they had a hero like a Tiny, the hero could snowball so easily and get so many kills. But
Right.
they don't have a hero like that. And Team Secret is one of the few teams who can actually pull off a lineup like this. Just aggressive play, not too much building damage. Pangolier is going to be the one probably getting that Guardian Greave so they can at one point group up and try the team fight.
Basically, what do you think?
I think the draft here is a little bit better for Forward, but still favoring Secret overall. They make such good use of the CM aura at this game. It's really scary to see what... Like, just all of the little plays from them in the last game were so well executed that I feel like this game as well, you give them that little bit of extra mana wiggle room on all of their heroes, and they're going to do the exact same thing.
Okay.
So...
Well, we'll see if Jug is going to be able to win a game at this tournament so far. Lost his earlier game, has a 20% win rate through the qualifiers. We're getting ready to hop into this game number 2. And yeah, that's really, to me, also been one of the big stories, is like, this is like the best Jug game possible, really, in a way. You've got all of these things that sort of, with the exception of the Bane, that don't go through BKB, but that might be enough just in and of itself to screw him over.
Potentially. The other hallmark for me for a Jug game is whether or not your ulti actually kills people, and I don't know if that's necessarily the case here against like Pango jumping away, Weaver with the time lapse. Even there might be a Nightmare to dodge a couple of bounces. So if your ulti doesn't kill anybody, Jug really struggles to actually sit in the fight and like just get actual auto attacks off.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
I'm going to hit the go through now, and it does look like they're going to be moving up towards top with the Darkseer and that Sven. Double Stout Shield on Darkseer. You know what they're going to do. It's time to party.
Well, you know what the plan is, though. I think Secret have ways to potentially respond to this. We'll see what they end up doing. If they bring both of the supports up. The only problem with rotating Yapzor away from bottom is that I think the Leshrac needs the help. If they leave the Leshrac on his own in the off lane, then I think that's going to spell trouble.
I think they're switching it up, though, and they're going to...
Actually, no, it's never mind. It's Pango being played by Zai. It's actually mid Lesh, so...
Okay. Stun on a Puppy. Got the Ion Shell there already and going to go for some body blocks. SVG Puppy. Oh, no. He, like, sort of jukes back and forth. I'm going to block him. I'm going to block him. And then Puppy just, like, runs and eats a tree. Feels kind of bad.
Well, mid one manages to just poke his head down the cliff there and does grab the bounty. So, oh no. Oh no, is this the 4 bounty start for Secret? It is.
And they're not in position to eat the wave either.
Oh, no, Forward.
Yeah, it's not great. Not a great one. Okay, are they getting the matchups that they want at least? Zai is top with the Bane. God, Puppy's going to be able to bully here, I feel like, at least a decent amount.
Yeah. No, Bane is certainly a strong laning hero with the auto attacks. And Puppy picking up double Fairy Fire to also just bolster it that little bit more. Secret dodged the mid lane matchup that they didn't really want because I don't think they wanted the Pango up against the Monkey King. So just by swapping who's playing what, they do actually kind of get all of these laning matchups that they're kind of happy with. And to me, the most interesting thing is that they don't feel like they need the CM plus Lesh lane. They're willing to use these two heroes in other ways instead of just having the two of them necessarily playing together.
Yeah. I mean, this Bane is going to be enough of a problem, right? Like, with the CM aura that's eventually going to come out, and then also being able to just have a good amount of harassment just as right clicks, because if you mentioned those fairy fires, I mean, even regardless of the stout shields, they're making it work. And Zai already having a pretty decent time CSing here, as well as getting some harassment out. So yeah, tough stuff. We'll throw the Ion Shell onto Universe and pressure forward. Shield Crash means it's damage mitigated onto Zai. First Blood, though, is going to be drawn in the bottom lane where Yapzor goes down, and the Nightmare going to keep Zai alive and away, as Puppey will have the Fairy Fire as well as the Brain Tap, finding the kill, maybe another punch. They almost get it, and SVG just barely able to walk away. Good juke down to the south, as Puppey will not be able to catch SVG.
Yeah, and Zai almost connecting there with the Swashbuckle, but not quite enough. So, okay, Secret do end up losing one. This is a better start for the, well, decent start for the Jug. I hope Resolution's not going to buy Midas this game. Please, Resolution. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it to me.
That was not the best showing earlier. One downside right now for forward is Universe. Oh, he goes and picks up the bottle. Okay, he had only the 2 stout shields and nothing else in his inventory. But as you can see, down bottom with the hasted up Grimstroke, it's just a lot of running around and getting in these pot shots whenever possible.
Yeah, they're finding okay farm down here on the Weaver. Not too much of a threat against Nisha's life. Should be fine in this lane. Rezo's trying to put on some pressure, and he's got his boots, so can land a few more auto attacks with this sentry ward sitting here. But this is mostly about Nisha farming. I don't really think that Secret have too much kill potential down here, or at least not on the Jug. Jug can always just kind of spin TP if he's in danger.
Yeah. Look at that bonus damage, though. It's fancy. Give him the 10. Oh, Anisha gonna chase. Resolution needs to be a little bit careful. Oh, man. Stout Shield proc comes through. He uses the salve, and yeah, he's away again. So 3.5 minutes in. The lane's not all that much action early on. It does feel like, at least for now, everybody's kind of getting what they wanted. Universe is maybe the loser in the laning stage so far, although they still are getting the levels on him, so that's pretty okay.
Yeah. Yoar's farming really nicely against mid one. It's close, but Yoar is slightly ahead. And the nice thing about the Monkey King this game is that he doesn't need nearly as much setup as, say, the Mirana does. Oh.
Yapzor picks up 1 kill, and Nisha takes the other. Resolution goes down. That is not supposed to happen right there.
Oh, such a nice jump from Zai over the trees. And now can they find a little bit of a follow-up? Puppey's got a brain sap.
Oh my god, they almost get him. Universe, he's super low. The stun comes out. SVG underneath the tower and will die to it. And Zai looking to finish off Universe. Almost gets him here, but looks like in the end, the cone-headed man will escape.
That's 3 kills for Secret across the map, though. They got both kills bottom, and then Zai with some very fancy footwork up top to get that turnaround. They're going to try and kill Yapzor at bottom. Looks like he might be dead.
Yeah, they got the spin on top of him, so CM down. And looks like that should secure them at least one of these bounty runes on bottom. So it is getting close to that 5-minute mark.
Yeah, they need these bounties for Universe up top. Needs these bottle refills.
SVG there to ensure that it happens. Looks like he's going to be going back afterwards for more. SS has to be a little bit wary if they wanted to try and chase there with Nisha. But yeah, it's still not a ton of action early on. About a kill a minute.
Oh, mid one pretty far up here. SVG with the rotation.
Jump forward. Mid one stunned. 2 stacks trying to count to 4. Uar gets it. The Boundless Strike comes out afterwards in mid one. Fairy Fire living. Oh god, he gets out of there and they kill off SVG instead. That feels real bad.
Yeah, they needed to land even just a little bit of damage from that Primal Spring. I think that was the kind of the issue there. Like the mid one hadn't reacted at all when SVG moved into position, so I think it was safe to assume that he didn't have a ward. and they could have maybe coordinated that gank a little bit better.
Universe now trying to man up against Zai. Goes for the surge. Phase movement through. Zai will have another swashbuckle with the stick charges if he wants to go for it. You are moving and trying to see if he can bait him into it. Can he get another proc here? Swashbuckle to jump away, but doesn't kill off Universe. At least he gets away from You Are. But only for a second, as there's the Nightmare to turn it around. And it looks like Zai still sticking around this area. Puppey is seeing if they can bait him into something, but it's not going to happen.
Mid one with the rotation down bottom finds the resolution kill. All right. So both mid laners trying to get involved for something, and unfortunately it's only mid one who comes up with anything. Yuar is actually kind of low. Are they going to try and anticipate his movement over to the shrine? Now, mid one's not going to do anything too weird and just goes back and continues farming over at mid. But Secret, once again, all of these little plays and all these little rotations, they've just been kind of nickel and diming an advantage and sitting at 2K net worth lead.
Inkswell forward with the Monkey King. Yuar will find, oh, Nightmare. Oh my God, trade it over, wants to find the kill on a Puppey, and it will happen. So almost disaster there, but doesn't quite happen. Zai going into the Rolling Thunder. Universe seeing if he can juke away. There's a little ring around the rosy and gets out. Oh my God, that damage coming out from the Javelin.
Yeah, they're both pretty low up here. A single support rotation in either direction would probably be a kill, but Zai almost has the mana for 2 abilities now. At the moment, he's only got the Swashbuckle.
Finds him, needs a proc. Can he get it? He knows the vision, the direction that Universe is going. Doesn't get a proc. And Darkseer will escape.
Okay, so Fort, again, similar to last game, you are getting very active, trying to make some plays, was kind of drifting down towards bottom, keeping an eye on the rune, and then maybe seeing if that would find them some kind of kill opportunity, but instead just has to walk back to mid, and Secret have the top 3 last hit spots across the board, just getting that little bit more out on all of their matchups.
Yeah.
Nisha's going Midas. Resolution just going for a Yasha this game. We do have UR going Midas, so a couple of Midases across the board, but
okay,
not too many. And like we said, this is a very, it's quite a free Weaver game. You know, the Secret using their last pick to make sure that Nisha has really good matchups, so not really feeling under too much pressure.
They do have the 2 supports down in the bottom lane for Secret, just in case they decide to go on him. And it's actually mid one that now turns on MSS. Doesn't matter, he's silenced. He already got his abilities off. They kill off the Grimstroke.
Poor MSS, that's 2 Grimstroke games in a row, and that's 2 games where he's just getting run down by Diabolic Edict.
I know.
From the Leshrac. Nothing that he can really do. No counterplay. Lesh doesn't even care about the silences. Once he's got Edict and Pulse Nova on, he just runs at you. Phantom's Embracer, no. Oh, okay, you are trying for a little wraparound here, but Zai is just completely gone in the other direction. He's leaving.
Yeah. It ain't gonna happen. And Zai instead is gonna try and kill off MSS again, or at least just stroke some fear into him.
Weird.
Yeah, that was odd.
I thought he was just gonna try and bounce back and forth in the gap here, but
yeah,
kind of ricocheted at a weird angle off the Roshan pit.
Maybe his mouse is broken. Well, Zai, stun, caught there in the pit. You are thinking about jumping in. They're not gonna get it. And Puppey is here instead. He has level 6, but there's 3 heroes in the area. He might have gone a bit too deep at this point, as he trades over the Nightmare. That keeps him alive, but it just sets up for Zai, who got the Invis
It's the Fate time. He used it in the Fate time, and now he's fine. Oh my God.
That was sick.
This is what I'm talking about when I say the little plays from Secret, right? That was so good. And it even bought a bunch of time so that they could get that tier 1 tower at bottom before the Radiant actually finished off this tier 1 tower up at top. Oh.
Well, he might have gone a bit too far now.
Yeah.
So the Fade time Invis rune got him to kill.
Into a just raw feed at top. There's no other way to really put that. But It's a little bit of space. Mid one got some edict damage on the mid tier 1, but Glyph got popped, so they're going to be okay.
I mean, that was happening anyways. But, well, they're going to jump on a mid one now. Be careful.
Fiend script.
Trying to run. Gets the stun. Yapzor caught. They already have the soulbind down as well as the wall of replica. Yapzor will die. So Secret losing a couple heroes here. Very oddly. And Nisha low on mana. He ends up getting caught by the soulbind as well, or rather the stroke of fate.
He's fine. He's got a big big wand. So has that time lapse in reserve. Nisha knows that he can play really however he wants.
And we see another Midas coming out, this time from the Monkey King. More and more and more and more. They're going to head bottom, it looks like. God, it's got to be so frustrating playing when you just can't do anything against this Weaver. Brain Sap, rather enfeeble. And you are chasing, wants to find the sun on a mid one. He already got his abilities off though, and now the Fiend's Grip on the side, even though he is silenced, mid one still getting those kills. And MSS gonna try and TP away, but they find the catch, the Split Earth, and another bites the dust. Forward just cannot get anything going today.
Oh, it was such sneaky positioning from Puppy.
Rezo dies too? Zai just solo killed him?
Oh, no.
And SVG, a rampage across the map for Secret as they lose all of their freaking heroes. Stick a fork in him, this one's over.
Yeah, this one's not looking great either. Just Secret really, again, it feels like outplaying Forward Gaming.
Well, Universe wants to make something happen, but this man has played a lot of Darkseer, and there's only so much you can do on it. Mid one, silenced, but he has buddies to help him out. And Resolution will go for the spin. They have the Soulbind onto 2, walking together, holding hands, but Rezo needs to be careful. He steps too far forward, even though he has that Omni Slash. Could be in a little bit of trouble, but yeah, when you're running, getting ran at by your tier 3 towers, it does not feel good.
And it's another one of these games where you can just say that like Nisha is getting everything he wants. Oh.
Time lapse. Run away or turn and fight if he wants to. SVG getting the armor reduced continually, and they take him down. Mid one gets the tower, gets the kill, 6-14, and 7,000 gold lead, 13 minutes into this. Zai finds Universe.
What?
Well, okay.
All right.
he's missed a couple of those. Just gotta shake it off.
Zai's still figuring out this Pango here. It's okay. That's not a big deal.
It does already have the full immune. Oh, he maybe will have another shot here in a second. He's got 50 seconds until it's off cooldown. Walks away. The disarm is there. Can't really make anything happen though.
Yeah, I do feel like this game, similar to the last one, we've just seen Yoar running around a whole lot trying to find kills and just not doing so successfully. Oh, and Nisha finds a kill on Universe. Okay. Teaming up with Zai there. To me, I don't know if it's a failing of their vision game or like smoke utilization or what the situation is, but Yoar's rotations and aggression just are not landing in either of these games at all.
Well, it sort of speaks to something that we were talking about before too, where like for him, he has to find the heroes to get the kills, whereas for Leshrac in mid one, he's been finding some of those kills, but that's largely been reactions too, as they try and set this gank up again onto the Weaver. Nisha gets the time lapse, the runaway, and the stun connects there at the very end, trying to walk their way forward and see if they can get him. Jukes the other direction. Nisha, they're just not going to chase him. All right, they can't do it. And he's still playing around with him here. Jesus. But the point I was going to make is if you look at what mid one's hero does, he just runs at towers and takes them with Diabolic Edict. So it feels like it's not as much pressure on mid one in a way in this game.
Yeah, he has an alternative play that he can make where he can force lanes and threaten towers instead of just being kind of a hero killer. Yoar does have his Midas up now. Just waiting for it to get shipped out on the courier. 15-minute Midas.
There you go.
But And they haven't used the Omni Slash yet.
Look at this.
Either.
I mean, they use the wall, the ulti, everything onto Yapzor. This is a CM. He's perfectly fine just sitting there. And they kill off SVG. They kill off Universe. Now Fiend's Grip in between the tier 2 and the tier 3 tower. Just nothing is going the way right now of Forward. Resolution gonna go for the spin walk away. Secret don't care about these towers. They're chasing you into your base. Shield Crash is a little bit off the mark. Eventually they turn to Omni Slash. Have Secret finally gone too far? I don't think so. They hit the Earth Split right outside as he comes out of the Omni Slash, and Resolution, he gives them the well played. He knows that was pretty good. They're gonna take down this tier 3 tower. Oh my goodness. Stun comes out. Have they finally gone too far? No, Zai walks away yet again. And Secret pop the drums, turn to run. Puppey might have to give up his life, but honestly, they're waiting to go back in another time. All these heroes are on almost no HP, but they're still looking to fight. Silence there, onto the Monkey King. He can't cast anything. He's caught. He's killed. The luck runs beautiful as Mid-1 just saunters away from the Sven, who wants to finally kind of kill, but it ain't happening. Oh.
Secret are just toying with them at this point.
It feels like
that they know that they're just dangling their puppets on a string right now.
It feels
Secret.
like the cat toys where you shake it out there a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
The thing is, the cat usually gets the toy. Oh, it hurts. Universe will be able to get away from this one. It looks like.
Ooh, Resolution silenced to bottom. Oh, gets very low, but we'll be able to get the spin off and survive.
And Zai's just been running around here with like no HP this entire time. There's a regen rune bottom.
He doesn't know that.
Yeah, I know.
So,
well, the pressure has not stopped. Forward stuck in their base and just wanting to go someplace to hit some creeps. But everywhere they go, they get pushed back by Secret. And, I mean, just look at them play around the map like this. Is tier 3 towers going down again? Just run up there with Mid-1, hit it with some Diabolic Edict?
yeah. I mean, part of that is enabled by the vision from Puppey,
Right.
right? The fact that he's got that ward on the high ground, they can just play these crazy games.
Split Earth, the vacuum, the wall, pulls him back into it as 2. Puppey does have a, well, Fiend's Grip if he wants to use it, but he's in the middle of this ultimate, but Zai hits 5 with the Rolling Thunder. Needs to walk away at this point, though, and the Omni Slash out as well, onto 2. Need to get out of there, but they have the Fiend's Grip for Resolution, out of mana, out of time. Puppey in the fog, and SVG also gonna go down. Again, Secret find kills on cores and don't lose anybody.
The team play from Secret is just a beauty to watch. All these, every little movement, you know, Bane saving the Fiend's Grip. As the Jug comes out, just about to get the finishing blow on Mid-1, they keep Mid-1 alive. He gets to do a little bit more damage.
And another one. They don't have the damage on Forward to deal with this, and Universe gets stomped yet again. They took down the tier 3 tower, and now are sticking around to get the barracks. They just do not have answers. The Glimmer Capes keeping each other alive. They still have the Yule Scepter as well.
The difficult thing for me to evaluate looking at this game is that I don't even know if it's that Secret's heroes are that good or if it's just that, like, the draft is certainly solid and there's some interesting things to it, but it also feels like just the players on Secret are that much better, and that's a big reason why they're winning this game. So if you're a team at this tournament and you're trying to evaluate, or you're a team at MDL,
Yeah.
oh God, Resolution, goodbye. If you're a team trying to evaluate what's going on here, it's hard to say exactly
What
how
does
much
X
you
mean?
should.
What does X mean? What is that bet? Oh, it means you can't bet on them, is what production is telling me.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. Well, it does look like Crystal Maiden will eventually die. See if we can get rid of that X. 20,000 net worth lead at 20 minutes.
I would say by the metrics, this is not looking great. Can we get a Dota Plus? Yeah, that's what we need, Scriff. Thanks, buddy. 99%.
I mean, you're going to stay in this one until the very end. If there is a team that want to get a win desperately, is definitely Forward. But is it actually going to happen? That's a different story. as UR just dies. So I found him. A lot of damage, a lot of disarm, a lot of sad feelings.
Yeah. So what's the split here? It's top 2 go winner bracket, is it? Yeah. So I guess the third is not going to cut it in this group. It is definitely important that Forward try and notch some wins here.
Oh my god.
It's not going to be this game.
The illusions. He can't get away from the illusions. Oh my god, Zai has you in his sights. He's going to get out of there. They have to come and protect their racks, their heroes.
Secret are just like sharks circling, right? They're just moseying back and forth outside of the base, waiting for somebody on Forward to just stick a toe into the water, and then they bite off the whole foot.
Like a heat map over the past 5 minutes, because I'm sure that Forward have not left their base more than just a couple of minutes for anybody. Like, they just die.
Yeah.
Now they got bots as well. Just going to bring the Pango back out. Zakaya and Sanj from Lesh. Is that extra little bit of status resistance and survivability?
Yeah, beef up that a little bit more. Why not? Going for all of the tanky talents as well. This is very common on Leshrac these days. People just go for the armor and strength instead of anything else. You occasionally see the move speed, but it's pretty much always see the armor instead of the 250 mana.
Secret going to pick up a Roche for themselves. They know that this Roche is happening. Forward are sending their heroes in right now, but smoked up. I don't know if it's going to be in time as Roche goes down. Aegis still on the ground, but mid one picks it up. See if they can find one pick off here. Nisha, time lapse back to the pit. They didn't respond in time, and mid one with that Aegis is not a tasty target at all.
Yeah, for Forward, it's one of these situations where you're telling yourself, like, well, we have to do something. We have to at least go and try, but they're just so far behind, especially the cores, right? You got Resolution sitting at slightly under 8k gold, and then the lowest farmed core on Secret is Zai with 12.2k.
And it's CM that's right there with the cores of the Radiant.
Yeah. Let's not talk about Yapzor. It's depressing.
Well, he blinks over and soulbinds himself to Zai, but it doesn't look like that's going to get punished. In fact, it's just mid one running into 4 heroes. There are 4 Forward heroes surrounding him. He does not care because his buddy is there. UR gets lifted up in the Eul Scepter Universe, in some trouble as well. They miss on the Boundless Strike. Oh, it feels real bad as MSS is also going to hit the dust. Universe dies as well, and chasing into the base right now, mid one making a statement. I don't care about regen. I don't care about Fountain. I got an Aegis.
Yeah, they're in the base. They do need to... Okay, they've got backdoor protection disabled because of bottom wave. Jug's going to try and go and push that out to get the backdoor protection back up, but...
Mid-one wanted to use up his Aegis, but the tower didn't kill him in time. Leave the creeps! Or he'll just hang out for a little while and wait for somebody to initiate onto him.
That's fine.
Still has 3 minutes left on that Aegis. SVG goes for the stun, not gonna find it. And mid one, I'm not sure about that one. But nonetheless, this is silence onto Weaver. The Boundless Strike comes out onto several. UR goes for the catch. That's gonna be a 2-3-man, in fact, vacuum into wall. Things looking kind of okay, but in the meantime, it's Yapzor letting it go, and it's gonna be Rezo caught and killed off. And GG, it was inevitable, really. Secret looking amazing in this group stage.
Yeah, certainly going to be happy with the 2-0 here, right? Like we said, since they 1-1'd against OG, actually it's going to be very important that they probably 2-0 their remaining series, because now it comes down, if we assume that OG is like the second best team in this group, right, it comes down to that race of who doesn't drop any games against all of the teams below them. So important that they keep on 2-0, but they looked phenomenal in this series.
Yeah, it's no shame in losing to Team Secret, especially when they play like this. They had a way better draft in game number 2. I'm talking about Forward, but I don't think Team Secret would be able to destroy Tier 1 team with a draft like this.
Right.
Yeah, this lineup seems rather squishy, but they executed it so well. The spell casting is on point. That they're just you can feel that they're playing with them. They can actually.
They've got the whole like
Secret.
mind meld going on, right? Everyone knows everyone else's cooldowns right as they're about to come up, what everyone's planning, and it's really cool to see.
Well, that is going to do it for our game number 2. Our second series done as well. And I think that also concludes our action for Group A, as we just have 2 more games left open for Group B, which we're going to be covering here on this stream. It's going to be a dual round of Fnatic, actually.
Yeah. If you're a Fnatic, then make sure you stay right here.
Fnatic versus Aster, and then later on Fnatic versus Alliance. So good games for sure to come. But stay tuned, everybody. More from ESL. So we're going to be coming back in just a few with our third series right after this.